Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Am I just up? I went to a shrink to analyze my dreams. She says it's lack of sex that's bringing me down. I went to a whore. He said my life's a bore. So quit my wife because it's bringing her down. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Grasping to control, so I better hold on. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Am I just I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting sheep but running out. As time ticks by, still I try. No rest for cross-tops in my mind. On my own, here we go. Feel like they're gonna bleed right up and bulging out my skull. My mouth is dry, my face is numb, fucked up and spun out in my room. On my own, here we go. Set on overdrive. The clock is laughing in my face. Crooked spine, my senses dulled. That's the point of delirium. On my own, here we go.
All right, my friends. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. What up, what up? All right, just settling in for a quick second. Can I get a sound check, Areno? Let me know if I sound... Yeah, I was going to say good, but, can you hear me clearly? That's really what we care about. I know I don't sound good. Can you hear me? All right. Step 1, sound check complete. Step 2, puppy warning. This is going to be the first public stream with the puppy. He is half asleep about 4.5 feet away from me. But, yeah, there's kind of no way of knowing if he's going to create noise or whatnot because he is a baby, so it's a roll of dice. If you hear puppy squeaks or whatever, it is what it is. We're just going to power through it. I am going to try to keep these streams a little bit shorter for him as well. Last thing to say is the stream is sponsored by Paragon and Woo. So shout out to both of those. So thank you everybody for tuning in. 100%. So let me just go through chat. Like I see the puppy cam comment. I actually do want to do that. I'm looking into how to set that up. It would be sick to just have a little puppy cam in the corner somewhere. It would be kind of boring in the sense that he's mostly sleeping or just like nibbling on a toy. But yeah, I do want to do that. I've even seen it where it can, like, the camera can move him and follow as he walks around because he's got a little area that he's gated off in right now outside of my office. But anyways, yeah, the puppy is going to change up the stream dynamic a little bit with some randomness. You can already tell he's getting ready to complain about being locked up here in a minute, so that is what it is. But yeah, also, I see the like shillers, HCT. I respect you for that. It's like almost 200 of you in here and 23 likes. Press that like button for me. It really helps us out with the algo because I say things I shouldn't say on the stream and we play music that we shouldn't play, so the algo does not like me. I need you guys to press like. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it, guys. I'm going to start, with the classic rundown. We'll go top to bottom, obviously emphasize around Bitcoin. I want to talk about, before I actually do the macro outlook, I want to do the sentiment ramble. So everybody knows that we're at the point where this is like the worst sentiment we've ever seen, right? Relative to prices being elevated. It's perplexing, but also makes sense all at the same time. Just so you guys know, you guys all want to know what my positioning is. I'm still risk off right now. I'm going to detail the plans because I do think we could be setting up for a bottom right now. I don't think that betting on it being the macro swing long bottom makes sense, but definitely a dead cat bounce long right now makes a lot of sense to me. And this is the area that I expected it to take place in. So we'll cover that after I run through some more stuff. But yeah, just sentiment across the board has been wild when I've gotten feedback from other people, or maybe I dive into little parts of Twitter that I'm not used to seeing. I don't really scroll that much on Twitter compared to other people. And I have lists, for people that I actually care about what they have to say. I just have them on lists, right? I don't scroll the open feed for that purpose. But yeah, it's perplexing. But I think the main takeaway from the sentiment conversation, everybody, is that when we look at all the bad stuff that happens, none of us have like real control over it. It's not like, oh, there's all this fraud going out and one of us is just going to speak up and it's going to be over, right? I get that. But I want to make a little bit of a counter argument that you guys do have a voice. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of your voices aren't huge by any means, but you have a voice even if you're a 12 follower account, right? And I think we need to collectively make the effort to treat people that make the effort. I'm not talking about myself here. Honestly, like smaller accounts need it way more than me. People that are putting forth the effort to pass on ideas or education or any sort of value, make the effort to tell them you appreciate it. And then on the flip side, for the people that are just, life-sucking entities that offer nothing and are just pieces of shit and scammers, right? We need to make the effort to block and ignore them, right? The worst thing we can do with like the Suzu thing that just happened is he just got so much engagement off that, right? And we all need to see that guy and just never quote tweet him, never reply to him, never do anything, just block his dumb ass, right? That's the one way that we can maybe try to fight these retards off a little bit. So it's on you guys to do that. I'll do my part where I will block anybody that acts like that and, try to support smaller accounts that are out here trying to do positive things or push the space forward. But yeah, I think a lot of us act like we can't fix this stuff. And it's like, obviously you don't have control over whether a guy makes a rug or whatnot, obviously, but you do have a little bit of control about dampening that guy's voice. So anyways, I don't want to ramble about that too much. All in all, I think that everything's going to work out fine for crypto. Whether we trade down lower from here or not, we'll talk about that here in a minute, but that's not the takeaway, right? Big picture, this shit's not going away anytime soon. Bitcoin's going to continue to be a tradable asset for us, and there's going to continue to be lots of altcoins that we can trade beta on Bitcoin. The sentiment that altcoins will never be a play again or whatever, I honestly love seeing that take because that tells me that it's going to happen again, right? So that's pretty much it for the kind of sentiment ramble. I thought it was important to make the point that you guys do have a little bit of a voice, and I think you guys should make the effort to try to support people that are actually helping. And, do your part in ignoring and not feeding any attention to the people that are pieces of shit. We know there's a lot of people out there that are pieces of shit. We see them. For some reason, Twitter, welcomes them back every time soon. We just saw that with the Sam thing, right? Somebody bought Sam's account and then launched a rug with his account. And everybody was interacting with the account, quote tweeting it, right? Feeding the account engagement. And that's exactly what those people want. So please consider just straight up ignoring people. I'm almost scared to read the chat about what is going on. So I'll digress from that, and we're going to jump into the macro here in just a second. Let me check chat, though. My puppy does eat pretty decently, but he can't eat meat. He's 11 weeks old. He only recently even moved over to hard puppy food. Before I adopted him, he was eating mostly wet food. I switched him over to dry food real recently. You guys think he's out here eating steak? If I gave him a piece of steak, he would love it, but he wouldn't even be able to eat it. He would just chew it, I think. We're in the 9th inning. All right, so yeah, real quick, do I think we're in a bear market, right? That's probably one of the big questions you guys have. I do not think we're in a bear market, right? Whether you want to have the conversation around altcoins being in a bear market or not, whatever, right? I don't give a shit. Is Bitcoin in a bear market, right? No. This doesn't feel any different to me than what we've felt throughout the trend. I am positioned in a way so that if I'm wrong and the macro trend is over, I'll be aight. But I am honestly getting ready to probably go back to being risk on again here soon. I'll cover that in detail on medium time frame. Just read through chat for a second, and there really isn't a whole lot to yap about on the macro, right? I've been saying the same thing for fucking years now, basically. This is probably the year where we break the seasonality and cyclicality trend. And that's fine. That's fine. Everybody got really complacent with the seasonality stuff, so we're going to try to break the mold a little bit this year, it seems. Sentiment has been cursed since mid-January. Brother, that's like a fucking month and a half. It's not even that long. We can go through periods of many more months that are worse than this, so brace yourselves for sentiment even getting worse, potentially. Pretty sure you said 85K a while ago. I don't know what you mean by that, man. 85K is obviously an important level that everybody's going to have on their charts, and I actually talked about one in the front run 85K with 86 and 87. Comparing me to CBS, that's crazy. Funding low equals max long? I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, that's not how that works. Okay, I see your next comment. Respect that. Everybody in 2022 Tried to say funding was negative, was long, and then that worked 0 times. No, he was joking. If you're serious about that scream, you deserve to be made fun of, but I assume you're joking. You think we see a bear market again for Bitcoin as in minus 70% range? Look, guys, don't have a crystal ball. I think that Bitcoin's obviously going to have bear stages, right? I don't think that Bitcoin's bear markets, if we were to, let me change charts to something else. Fuck it, we'll just stay on this one. You know, do I think that we're going to have these kind of drawdowns where it goes, you know, what was the 2018 drawdown? Minus 80%. This one was probably like 70% drawdown, 75%. I think that the percentage drawdown on the bull market should be less over time. It's not to say that it won't go down a lot in a bear market, but I think that the drawdown should be less, right? So if I was to, you know, just straight up make a number up, you know, like 65%, 70%, maybe 5% less every time. But to be clear, I don't think we're in a bear market. I'm positioned in a way that will allow me to be flexible because I am hedged and I de-risked a lot of things, but I am probably going to take risks here soon because I think that we're set up for a dead cat bounce here really soon. 75 years old and rich because of funding rates. I wanted to say something earlier. I heard somebody say at the very beginning that I sound depressed. That's just how my voice always sounds. I haven't spoken to anybody yet. I've only been awake for a couple of hours. I haven't spoken to anybody yet. Like, that's just how I sound when I first start talking. Thoughts on the Solana unlock? I don't really want to talk about individual altcoins right now. Quick, you know, thoughts are like Solana was, you know, a fantastic trade for me this cycle. You know, obviously the whole Trump thing topped out Solana, and Solana needs a big reset, right? You need to kind of wash out the filth from their chain, right? That's just the general consensus across the board. Is we need a lot of we need a lot of filth to be washed out from the space. You know, I think it's a quote from The Big Short, but basically, you know, as you get closer to the top, you know, it's like if there's fraud and scams and there's like a spectrum. Earlier in the stage, there's going to be less. Later in the cycle, fraud just gets more and more prevalent, right? So when you're at these stages, from a technical standpoint, I had a reason to go risk off, right? And then added into the, you know, just how filthy everything is right now, that really strengthened the argument for playing defense, right? So people always talk about sentiment this, sentiment that. I actually think that maybe the better data point would be how much fraud there is, right? The more fraud, the more concerned you should be. I was looking for dollies all day, but couldn't pull the trigger. Might be wrong, though. I don't think you're wrong, bro. This is not a Dalai Lama regime, right? Dalai Lamas require momentum, and since there's no momentum in the market right now, that setup's not going to work. I actually made a video in the Paragon about the specific regime you want to trade dollies in, because if you just trade dollies in any sort of market regime, it's going to be it's a terrible strategy. It's one of the best strategies of all time when deployed in the correct regime. I have to skip some of chat, bro, 100%. I'm positioning away. My average long is 88K. You might be all right, bro. I don't know. You're on your own with managing that. I think you'll probably be all right, though. I do think we're setting up for a dead cat bounce here soon. From mental capacity perspective, thoughts on high time frame trading versus low time frame scalping. Seeing low time frame takes up a lot more processing power. Yeah, I've definitely talked about that a lot. Lower time frame trading, you know, there's pros and cons to both, right? And I think that most of you guys should actually experiment with lower time frame trading, even if you want to be higher time frame, because it's going to help you be a more well-rounded trader. So the TLDR is that the pro of lower time frame trading is that, you know, you have a little bit more control of how things play out, and there's a lot less variance on lower time frame, and you can kind of have stable, lower returns, where the flip side is like higher time frame is going to have a lot more variance, but that's where you're going to get the outsized larger returns. So it's really just it's very much a yin and yang concept. I can share my Twitter list at some point. Keyboard and mouse setup. I've got, this is not my gaming PC, so it's just got a regular Keychron, but my gaming PC has the Wu-Tang 60 key and G Pro Superlight 2 for the mouse. Saving the good questions for Paragon stream. There you go. Nice try, Frank. Can you outline how you would expect a dead cat to look? Yeah, I was going to do that in medium time frame, so don't worry, Jason. I will come back to that. Just going to get through chat here in about 3 minutes, and then we'll probably cover that. Pretty good downside momentum. That's true, right? So with any of the kind of the dolly play could work to the downside. It really doesn't work as well to the downside because the reflexive nature of like how euphoric people get over green. But theoretically, running inverse dollies does make some sense. Thank you, Jake. Thanks for watching the dolly. Yo, I can't remember everybody's name. If you're in the Paragon already, definitely check out the regime part of that. Currently trading lower time frame and helped me a lot developing actual understanding of markets. Yeah, you'll learn, right? So that's another right. That's kind of what I was saying, right? Even if you want to be a higher time frame trader, you should probably fuck around with some lower time frame stuff because the rate of progress is gonna be fast, right? With higher time frame stuff, I'm not gonna know if I'm right or wrong for a while, right? It could take months before I realize if I'm right or wrong. Lower time frame trading, you're right and you're wrong, bing, bing, boom, bomb, right? All the time, quick. So the rate of progress and how much you will learn for lower time frame trading is so much faster. I also think that lower time frame trading offers more consistent returns, where you kind of run a more systematic approach and you just slam EV over and over again. But higher time frame stuff is a lot more random for sure. Higher time frame also requires more total capital to make it work because you need to be able to not make money for long times. That was not even intentional. Random music generator. Your name was literally fucking selected for this moment in time. Been watching your order flow guides on YouTube. Any advice you could give starting out? It's a lot of info, especially footprints. Ignore the footprint shit. Learn how to read basic liquidity dynamics, which I barely cover in that video because that video is old. Focus on basic taker flow, right? And probably stop using footprints for the most part. That video is old, right? I mean, I have much more updated versions in the Paragon for how to read flows. Curious on your thoughts on the alt bottom before Bitcoin. That's super improbable, right? Alts. So there are rare instances where alts will bottom out before Bitcoin, but that really only applies when Bitcoin has a trend, a stronger trend, which it's in the trend, right? But this is the chop stage of the trend, right? So it doesn't really apply as much. It's very, very rare for altcoins to bottom before Bitcoin. Anybody that says that that's likely to happen is probably retarded, honestly. What I would say is that when Bitcoin has a lot of momentum, which it has none right now, when Bitcoin has a lot of momentum, you will see a couple of altcoins bottom before it, whatever the strong altcoins are, right? So when Solana was really strong, Solana would often bottom before Bitcoin. But yeah, buying Bitcoin's, buying any altcoin plays before Bitcoin's done selling off here is going to lead to pain for you. Lower time frame, miles harder in terms of mindset though, for sure. But that's where you're going to make progress and learn, right? You got to deal with the pain of your mistakes, your constant barrage of I did this wrong, I did that wrong, right? That barrage of mistakes will make you a better trader if you can push through it. Big downside I found, or find with lower time frame, it's very difficult to switch your execution style and stop pressing buttons when the market calls for higher time frame trading. That's a valid point. It requires experience, right? My lower time frame and higher time frame trading are very much separated in my brain. So you got to figure out how to separate the two. or just say fuck it and just do one or the other, right? Not everybody's going to be able to do both. Start the DCA on Bitcoin here. No. If you wanted to take a derivative trade down here, it makes sense, and I'm going to present that argument here in a minute. But buying, you know, I wouldn't swing spot here or anything. I think it's going to be just dead cat. Can a layer 2 be the next Solana? I don't know. I'm not the on-chain nerd enough to answer a question like that. I would probably venture to guess no, right? Trying to find the next Solana is a stupid endeavor, most likely, guys. The next Solana is probably just going to be Solana. I know that's not what everybody wants to hear. Round trip so much money that seemed like it was not enough at the time for some reason. Realizing that I need the uploading to make money. Now I need to actually learn how to trade. Hey, bro. You need to learn how to trade. That's step one, right? We all go through this. I went through the same thing. I made so much money in 2017 and early 2018, and then lost it all later in 2018. At the very end of 2018, I was learning to trade derivatives, and I got clapped on BitMEX. I lost 8 Bitcoin. It was like 8.2 Bitcoin in like an hour. So I mean, it's just the way she goes, man. You come into the market, you think you're a genius, the market humbles you. You either give up or you learn. Lower time frame is good for learning execution. Absolutely. You'll get so many reps with execution, which is really important, right? All the people that have been around a long time yap about how important execution is for a reason. Need to forget the all-time port, but I can't. This is the mental battle that everybody will deal with, and you just gotta say, fuck it, man. If your emphasis is just around getting back to whatever your all-time high was, you're probably going to perform pretty bad. Just say fuck it, move on. Would you say trading on prop firms is better than on a perps account? They shouldn't be directly compared. You trade prop, you know, if you don't have access to money or can't. But I mean, realistically, yeah, I mean, I don't think they should be directly compared. Yeah, we don't need chart footprints. We need puppy footprints. Got clapped last summer's range, still here. There you go, brother. All right, so I caught up with chat. I'm not gonna yap too hard about macro because it's been the same plan forever. This is definitely something that I said could happen, and you know, I don't really see it as any different than what we've seen previously. From a value perspective, this is rough, but everybody that is a market structure nerd, right? I mean, if you get hung up on market structure too much, a lot of the times you're just gonna fuck yourself, right? I mean, everybody said this was bearish market structure, right? And I get it. You need to play defense in this, right? I'm not gonna be positioned offensively, but I have the mindset that I still think we could go up at some point. But I'm not gonna yap too much about higher time frame. I would like to move into medium time frame, or actually have some more detail-oriented plans for you guys. So here's what we're working with. This is the medium time frame chart. When we were in this death range for a while, this is pretty rough, right? Bitcoin wasn't doing anything, so it just didn't really give a whole lot of opportunity. When we were in this range, the plan was I either stay risk off, because I shorted here. Actually, high key, for those of you that weren't in the Paragon, just a quick detail, right? My original plan was I was long and risk on up here. And then I said if we lost 102, that I was going to be bearish. We lost 102, and I hedged here. Then we fucking instantly sold down to the range. Insane how quickly we did that. And then I closed everything out and went back to long, and then re-shorted again to play defense, right? So I am short from 101.6 and change. And then following that, you know, we went into this range, death range, and the plan was super simple. When we're in something like this, you don't have any arguments for being bullish until reclaims happen, or you trade lower. So we either need to start to reclaim 99, 101, and 106. If we started reclaiming these, then I would have gone long again. Or we trade down to the lows. Right now, I do think that this is an area to look for a long. However, a lot of other people are going to have that same mindset, which means that it's not going to be easy. The best opportunity would be to actually have another liquidation event and to create a wick off the back of it, or we kind of round out a little bit. Blindly buying into this right now is pretty stupid. You need to be reactive rather than predictive, right? That's what everybody gets hung up on, right? This is the level we're going to buy, so it comes here and just blindly buy it. I don't really think that's the way you want to trade. You want to watch this. Liquidity is not supportive right now. It's starting to be more supportive for sure, but we haven't really even, I guess we just first tested. That's the first time we tested the big liquidity batch just now. So I think you really want to see these guys holding the line and seeing the bids continue to hold up. Taker flows have been pretty disgusting. Binance in particular has just been saying fuck you to everybody. They've sold like fucking 13,000 coins almost. So you want to see the takers start to hit with smaller clips and start making less progress to the downside, and you want to see these resting orders actually holding the line. That will hopefully either create a rounding. What that will look like is it will either create the rounding out effect, where price fails to start trading down and rounds out, or maybe we get like you start to round out and you wick hard and then come back in. These are the two scenarios that you want to see to bet on this. If you blindly buy into this, it might work, but it's not a smart way to do it in my opinion. That's pretty much it for a medium time frame right now. I do think that, I called this a dead cat, so you guys want to see what that would look like. What that would mostly look like is, here's the bearish version of a dead cat. If this is the range low, if the range low is roughly 93 and change, it's not going to retest it. So if we're bearish, what it's going to look like is we maybe round out here or maybe trade a little bit lower, and this is the range low, and we come back and we don't actually make it back to the range low. So that would be us bottoming out here and then trading up to like 90K or 89 or something like that. That's the bearish setup that you should be looking for. If you reject hard on a dead cat, then you want to be playing defense again for sure. If it doesn't look like that, and if it starts to trade back closer to the range low, then you should not be expecting it to be a rejection event, right? People always think of like, oh, it's a range and we're going to retest the range and then go down, right? That never happens, right? That happens, 1 out of 100 times, right? The majority of times you don't even come back to the range high. So that's what you should be looking for. If we get back to the range low, I said range high. If you get back to the range low, you should be expecting this to play out more bullishly. If it starts to lose downside momentum or upside momentum earlier, then you want to be much more bearish. All of this is contingent upon the fact that bulls actually put up a fight here soon and fucking trade us back up. So I'll take the time to read chat here for a second, but if you have any questions about the medium time frame, now's the time to cover that. It's pretty straightforward though. Macro still looking for that upside eventually, but medium time frame demands defense right now. I've gotten like 3 or 4 questions to share the Twitter lists. Before I do that, I'm not going to just go and grab my lists and share them. I need to make sure that they're presentable. So I will, I've shared some Twitter lists in Paragon before, but desperation for dead cat, stress relief, pretty high right now from my point of view. Well, that like I'm not wording it from a desperate standpoint. It's just a trade setup for me. I could see that a lot of people are desperate. That's why we always talk about the idea that it would be a super weak one most likely, right? If it was a strong dead cat and we actually rally back towards the range, then we're gonna go a lot higher. So if you guys just keep typing the Twitter list in here, you'll just I don't have individual willpower. So if you guys just keep spamming what's the Twitter list, then I'll have no choice but to share it, right? Because I can't think for myself, or I don't have willpower. So just keep typing it. That's a good point from Vid. You guys could probably see most of my Twitter list except for the ones that are private. I have my Twitter lists that are not private are like things that aren't important, right? It's gonna be like my news lists or like my order flow lists or whatever. My super secret trader list, which has like 6 people on it, is hidden. Be careful with some of those lists, guys. Some of those are older, right? Be careful about which ones you actually use from that, please. Some of those lists could be from 2019 for all I know, right? So look at the list to make sure it makes sense to use it. Okay. So that's basically where I'm at with the corn. I'm happy to dive into altcoins or, you know, kind of see what kind of direction you guys want to take the conversation today. Be mindful though that the stream's not going to be super long, so if you want to talk about some stuff, make sure you get it in the chat. We're 36 minutes in, or 38 minutes, whatever. I'm probably only going to go for like hour and 15 or something. You guys want to start to get into alts? We could do that. Hype was requested first, so I actually do own some hype. It's not a huge bag by any means, but I do own some. I would like to see the hype bulls actually putting, you know, it's hard for me to tell you guys to buy any of these things. Look, I liked the way that the hype chart was looking a lot until recently, right? Before the sell-off, the hype chart was looking fucking sexy, looking real good, right? I like the fundamental arguments behind this thing. A lot of my nerd friends are bullish on it, so I do own a little bit. I do not have big exposure to this thing yet. My intention is, you know, if hype can put forth strength and continue to like look good and maybe erase this move we just did, then I'm gonna buy a fuck ton of this probably. But for right now, it doesn't make sense to be super heavy risk on anything really. So yeah, that's the TLDR on hype. It's a good coin, but yeah, I need them to. I need a serious fight to be put forth soon before I'm gonna buy any more. OM has been one of my favorite coins recently. I still think OM looks fucking insane on high time frames. So what I would say with this one, I don't own any spot on this anymore. I took profit and sold all the spot on OM that I originally bought. I originally bought OM right here. I bought into this sell-off, but my average was $3.61. I sold a lot of this, or I sold it all already. I still think that this chart looks really good for continuation plays. So what I would say would be it's potentially in bid zone already. This would be bid zone number 1, which you would want to see bid zone number 1 hold up, because if you go to bid zone 2, which is probably around here, your market structure is starting to look a lot worse, right? So for simple altcoin flows, you want to see this area hold where it's at. If this area holds, you know, potentially a perp bid zone. OM is one of the only coins that actually has good structure and looks strong. So, you know, it's probably going to stop being important because everybody knows about this coin now. There was definitely a few weeks in, you know, in like late January and early February where CT didn't know about this coin yet, and that created a lot of opportunity to trade this thing. So consensus will come in on this coin, and it probably won't be a good coin for that much longer. BNB against Bitcoin. Let me look at BNB on the dollar first. High time frame structure looks good on this thing. Medium time frame structure looks pretty rough on the dollar pairs. I'll look at the Bitcoin pair really quickly, even though I don't really do this that much. Okay, definitely showing a lot of strength on lower time frame. Look at this. I have no fucking idea what these levels were, but this is way back in the day. I used to use pink fucking levels back in the day. I don't dislike BNB as a play. And big picture, if equities and Bitcoin weren't bearish right now, BNB would be a play you would want to be focused on, because you guys saw the news that that Binance is going to be like, you know, losing, you know, the original people that were running Binance are going to be losing a lot of their ownership. So it does make sense for CZ to try to reignite the BNB chain so that he can maintain his, you know, dominance over part of a market. stocks look like they're diverging big on the weekly time frame. You mean like an oscillator divergence, like they had bear divs? I mean, that does look like momentum loss. Look, guys, equity, I'm not going to LARP super hard like about equities like I'm an equities expert, but it's pretty obvious that the tariff stuff is not bullish for equities. So, yeah, I mean, maybe equities and crypto are in trouble for a little bit. Please don't request weird alts, guys. I respect that from ZA or ZA. Trouble for me for a Bitcoin summary. I mean, you could just rewatch the video, man. My plans don't change that often, right? I'm macro bullish still, but medium time frame tells me there's absolutely zero reason to take risk right now. Apart from trying to bet on this being the bottom where you're at right now, if you want to do that. But I'm not taking that stab just yet. I'm gonna let other heroes go and think that they're going to conquer the dragon and they're going to get fucking burnt to death by the dragon, and then eventually after a couple of people have tried to fight the dragon and lost, then I will take a stab. I've used this, I made this stupid platitude up and I've used it for years now, but with positioning, it's better to be late than early. With research and prep work, you want to be early, not late. But with positioning, most of the time, you're not gonna time positioning correctly. You're either gonna be early or you're gonna be late. So between the two, late is always better. Early is just pain. Prime? I haven't seen anybody ask about Prime in a minute. I can only imagine how bad this chart's gonna look right now. Yeah, there you go. Look, I mean, the aggregate of alts, you know, say 99% of them are going to look like this. So if your coin looks like this, just forget about it, right? If you didn't sell it already, find a fucking way to sell it and survive. I know that it's hard to sell your bags when they go down a lot, but is it better that you sell your bag before it goes to zero or wait for it to actually go to zero? This was years ago. One of my friends, you know, we were pretty stupid back in our early days. One of my friends, if you're an OG or you remember the XVG Verge days in late 2017, one of my friends bought Verge and then just didn't sell it. And it went from like $10,000 to $200 or whatever. And he was just like, I'm just not going to sell it. And he couldn't sell it. So one day I just clicked fucking sell for him and he got $250 out of it or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it would be worth like fucking $3 right now, right? So I know that like selling shit after you've already fucked up is not easy, but you just gotta do it, guys. Say fuck it. Live to fight another day. Damn, there's like a fucking flock of birds going crazy outside my window right now. I feel like you guys might be able to hear that. Altcoin dead forever? Probably, bro. I don't even know what the fart ticker is. Yeah, she cooked. She cooked for real. Is what it is, man. How do you spot upside? How do you spot loss of upside other than price action? I mean, so for most of you guys, you're going to be using like momentum oscillators and stuff. That's the basic introduction to momentum. Beyond that, right, it can be, you know, I mostly use order flow, right? So paying attention to liquidity and takers. People always think the order flow stuff is complicated. It's really fucking not, right? What's the liquidity provider doing? What's the taker doing? What's price doing after they click buttons? Damn, motherfuckers be typing. Last summer, every time we dumped, I had conviction we would go up. Now I don't have any, not sure why. Well, I think there was a little bit of consensus amongst the traders that were actually good back in the summertime range that we would go higher. A lot of people that know their shit said the same thing. We have definitely a fractionalization between the people that know their shit. Where, so, you know, I'm either lost in the sauce and just refuse to, I acknowledge that the trend is turning, which is doesn't fall in my character, right? Or I'm right and we're going to go higher. At the end of the day, right, I don't actually know how things will play out. I'm just going to go off of what my balls are telling me. My first buys on Sol and Hype didn't hit this dump. How would you chase upwards if you had to go like lower time frame and look for SFP or something, provided that Bitcoin doesn't immediately shit the bed here? If you want to buy things and you don't really... So, I mean, I assume you're using resting orders, which is not something I really do. You know, most resting order trades for me are for exiting, right? I use resting orders to exit trades and not really ever resting orders to enter. So, I would honestly say that you probably should... I don't know what the answer is for you, but what the answer is for me would be, instead of putting a limit order, put an alert above that price. So if you want to put a limit order on Solana at 135, put an alert at 137, and then just watch price when it comes in and manually execute it. That's how I would do it. Thoughts on IP? I saw this ticker a few times. I don't really know anything about it. I'm getting a fucking kink in my neck reading the chat. I need to move my monitors around for chat purposes. The fuck is this coin? Holy shit. What's going on over here? New scam alert. Is this the new OM? Zoro, what's the TLDR on this coin? Somebody TLDR me. So looks like we got a new scam, boys. New scam coin. We like the new scams. I need to fucking clean up this watch list because holy shit, I have way too many dog shit coins on here. Good shout, Zoro. Plus 75 stream points for you. This is interesting. I could already tell based off how this thing's moving, there's a lot of activity on the perp on this thing too. So this is probably a very tradable asset right now. I can't say anything because I don't know what the fuck it is. The chart looks interesting to me, and I can tell that there's trade activity, so this is definitely something I would look to trade. Can't go down once you've already hit zero. Alright, so what Peter just said, right, that alts are doing well because you can't go down once you've already hit zero. Let me go ahead and teach you guys an important lesson. They can always go lower. They can always go lower. Even to the point where, let me paint a scenario for you guys. If you're an OG, you know about this. They can always go lower, and here's the reason why. If, let's say, back in the day, we used to not trade stablecoin pairs and we used to trade Bitcoin pairs. So if an alt went to 1 Satoshi, people would say, oh, I'll buy 1 Satoshi because it can't go less than 1, right? And then the exchange would list it against Litecoin so that it could go down lower. So I remember the Litecoin's listings a lot. That was funny. So your coin can always go lower. You think your coin is zero? Wrong. Unless it's literally zero, unless the market cap is $100, it can go lower, because even $100 could go lower, right? So please trust me when I say that your altcoin can always go lower even when you don't think it can. Please don't just mindless. I cannot. The chatters are mindlessly aping this one. We could tell we just jumped up 4%. Crypto banter has been shilling OM for months. I don't know. I don't know who Crypto banter is. Is that your main account? Pink levels? You want Docs Trading View? I used to use disgusting colors on my charts. All my charts were like neon pink and green and shit back in the day because I liked bright colors. I always wonder how you find coins like OM. Somebody probably told me to look at it. I find coins like that through scanning, paying attention to new listings, the social dynamic of people telling me about it, volume, like, you know, looking for tick scanning, right? Like I found good coins with ticks before. A lot of times I find them from a social standpoint where somebody, you know, these days a lot of times one of the hungry students goes, hey, look at this coin, right? And, you know, I go, oh, fuck. We're buying that. Vital. Just joined. What did I miss? You missed everything. What would you look for a reversal long? I don't like answering these questions because I've answered it so many times before. I'm looking for liquidity to start soaking. I'm looking for takers to exhaust. I'm looking for shorts to open. I'm looking for spreads to be bullish, right? It's the same kind of thing every time. Check Sui. I was really worried that the pup was going to be a little demon today, but he's going to sleep. We're very appreciative that he's behaving right now. I'm actually really not worried about him making noise for you guys, because you guys can just deal with it. I'm just more so just it being a distraction. Alright, so for Sui was a relentlessly strong trend this cycle, or, you know, basically from whatever, summertime until now. You know, obviously the trend is cooked, bro. So what am I supposed to say about this, right? Like, this thing will probably continue to trade lower. So I would say that Sui can, you know, Sui or anything like it can just be on, you know, if you want to short assets, you short these things when they bounce, right? If anytime this thing does a bounce, if it can retest its weekly VWAP or something, you short it. Use anchored VWAPs a lot as well. Sui looks bad. Tau? Guys, you guys are just making me look at fucking terrible coins. I know that Tau is going to look... Actually, I think the doc might have said that Tau was looking decent recently or something. Tau was a dog shit coin for a minute. It still is. There's nothing nice to say about this one either. It's, you know, it's in a downtrend for sure. I already did hype. FTM? I mean, honestly, guys, like, it's a problem if you're asking me to look at FTM. Did Phantom change his ticker? Jesus Christ. Is this the right ticker? Or did they change? Phantom had... Oh, wait, Phantom is Sonic now, right? Or something? This is clearly not the right ticker. I haven't traded Phantom in a minute. I think that they might have rebranded to Sonic. Ave and CRV. CRV is going to look like shit, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. But maybe Ave has some life in it. Psych. No reason to care about these kind of coins right now. Why is Peanut pumping? It's probably a short getting closed out. Let's look. Who knows, man? Clearly, it's a long opening mostly. Who fucking knows? What are some habits you have to manage your emotions? A lot of it's fucking cringe, stupid shit that you've already heard before. You can't believe how effective, breathing is, right? If I'm doing anything, I get mad about a stupid trade I took. I don't really get that mad about trades. Like yesterday, Livid, you probably remember, I shared that I fucked up an intraday trade yesterday. Had a really nice short on Solana. And I closed out half of it, and then when I was trying to close out the other half, I actually opened another half of a short by accident, and definitely erased a bit of that profit. But to be honest, I didn't really even get that mad. I was like, no, I was fucking stupid. You know, maybe a little bit mad at myself for a minute, but I actually was almost happy to make that mistake because it was such a great example to share in the group. Breathing exercises are such an underrated thing. If I say that, a lot of you guys will scoff and be like, look, listen to this fucking retard. He's talking about breathing, but it is insane how holding a breath in and then letting it out slowly can just like take you from tilted to not tilted. I do that when I play games all the time too, not just trading. It really works. I do a lot of, you know, the walking meditation stuff I've always talked about with my other dog that passed. I used to take her on walks all the time. That was a great way for me to clear my mind. Physical fitness, right? You know, you're feeling bad, go fucking lift heavy weights, you know? Pretty much anything to get your mind off of it. But honestly, the breathing stuff, everybody's different, so maybe that won't be effective for all you guys. But for me, the breathing stuff is super effective. I can get so tilted over a trade or over a game, and I can almost rebalance myself back to neutral. Not really. You'll never really go back to fully neutral. You fuck up and you breathe right, and 5 minutes later you try to do things again. You can get close to neutral. You won't ever really be fully back to neutral without getting up and leaving. Locust falling from the sky outside of my house, bottom signal. That's the top signal, 100%, right? Don't you know history? Or mythology? I don't know how we define that. Impact of NVIDIA earnings tomorrow on crypto. Look, bro, not the guy to ask that, you know? Here's what I'll say. If the earnings come in poorly and NVIDIA gets smacked down, that's obviously not going to bode well for us, right? But I should not be the person to game theorize any of these kind of things for you, because it's outside my area of expertise for sure. Pepe at previous range point of control from late 2024. Yeah, Pepe is cooked, right? I mean, pretty much all the altcoins got cooked. Athena, we can look at ENA. I was interested in this for a minute. And it's just really tough for me to say anything positive about these kind of things, right? You don't have, the only trend that this thing has is down, so really difficult for me to say much. I would just say fuck this coin for now. Simple as that. Litecoin? I think that Litecoin does have okay structure, and the reasoning, in my opinion, would be because that Litecoin is a very high probability coin to be an ETF, right? So that's what I would say. I'm not super interested in caring about this thing. I've traded Litecoin in the past, but you are correct. It has decent-ish structure. Definitely not like super good structure, but it's better than most of the alts, that's for sure. Also, on TradingView alerts, label them. Most don't understand tips because it reduces decision making. Oh, 100%, right? If you slap an alert in here and say, I want to, and just leave it by default, that doesn't mean shit. But if I say, you better go short this now, you fucking pussy. When that pops up on my screen or on my phone, you best believe I'm going to go fucking click buttons. But you actually, if you use alerts a lot and they're just prices at $11.62 right now, right? That doesn't mean shit to you. You're going to get desensitized to alerts like that. You think I'm joking, but a lot of my alerts are like this, actually. I'm not joking. If you're in the Paragon group, then you've definitely seen that. A lot of my alerts, while like talk shit to myself, like, you won't bid this right now because you're scared. Because you need to have that mindset, because a lot of times the best opportunities, the scariest moments in all of life. Shout out Cray for dropping the knowledge, honestly. IP is a Korean coin. Intellectual property? How do you typically go about adding to your watch list? Basically what you just saw. With IP, I said, oh, fuck. It's an interesting coin, so it goes on the watch list. I have just like absolute filth at the bottom, and then I normally keep the things I want to pay attention to at the top. At a certain point, I need to redo this because I've been operating off this same watch list for a long time now, and I don't care about most of these coins. So I need to lock in and redo this list. Do hype, please. I already did hype. I'll do it again. I mean, I want hype to be bullish. I already own some hype, and I am underwater on it right now. I like hype overall, but the chart structure has me very concerned, right? It was holding up incredibly well relative to the market, and that has clearly changed with the sell-off. So either hype is going to start to be strong again, and I'm going to buy more, or if this thing continues to be weak, I'm probably just going to sell the hype that I have and take the loss on it, and then I would potentially look to rebuy it later on. But I'm not going to let myself just go into perpetual drawdown on any of these things, right? You got to limit it. Alts can go down another 90% even after being down 90%. Yeah, people think we're trolling when we say that, but it's the truth, right? A coin can go down 99%, go up a tiny bit, and then go down 99% again, and just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. When you zoom out, the chart only went down 99% when you look at the entire thing. But if you look at every individual down move, it had all these different times where it went down 60, 70, 80%, right? And then bounced a little. Is this what it felt like in December 2020? No, not even close. December 2020 was an era of belief. You know, the 2020 run was in a large part really carried and supported by DeFi succeeding, in my opinion. So, no, this is definitely not like 2020 in any way, shape, or form. The scams weren't prevalent. We had real belief. We had real things that we were building back then. I would say that this is like the reciprocal, the polar opposite of December 2020. Current waiting time for Magus to read your comment, 23 minutes. Elbozos. I could just skip all your guys' shit. IP is a new layer 1 where creators can use IP token to handle their intellectual property. Sounds like a fucking good scam right there. Crude oil went negative. Well, your shitcoin can't go negative the way that oil did, but yeah, there you go. Oil is one of the most important assets in the entire world, right? The world literally cannot function without oil, and then oil went to below zero, right? I think it went like minus $20 or $30 a barrel. So there you go. That should shape your perception of markets right there. No one's asking about Solana anymore. Yeah, nobody cares about Solana. Solana will probably bounce back and be a very, very good asset again, and everybody that clowned it will have regretted not buying it back eventually, you know? All right, so I'm probably going to wrap the stream up here soon-ish. We'll get through some of these things a little bit more. I haven't looked at Render in a minute. I actually stopped looking at Render around the time that it changed its ticker, so I don't even know what this chart looks like anymore. Holy fuck. Oh, so they just kept the same chart and changed the ticker on it. I mean, this thing's piss, you know? 2023 and 2024, this thing was a GigaChad coin, but, you know, it's a pisser right now, that's for sure. We don't care about coins that look like this. Can I chart crude oil? You asking me to chart oil is like... I'm too mentally slow right now to come up with a clever analogy, but it just makes no sense. I don't even know what the fucking oil ticker is. Oil's in trouble. A little bit. You know what it probably is, right, is, you know... It all just plays into the Trump shit. Around the tariffs and around the idea that some of these world conflicts will potentially be shut down here soon and will not be world conflicts anymore, and then that's not good for something like oil. Phantom is Sonic now? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Andre's cooking some new scams. I'll keep an eye on it. Are there any coins that are not in the downtrend except OM that you have said? A couple of people have mentioned a few things in the chat, but for the most part, no. Pretty much everything's in the downtrend for the most part. Do you think NVIDIA does well into the earnings? Bro, I can't answer that. I don't know. I already looked at Prime. Just joined. What do you make of Bitcoin dominance going down a bit? I don't care about Bitcoin dominance, so I don't know what to tell you. I've said this for years now. Stop caring. I mean, you can care about Bitcoin dominance if you want to, right? If that's the easiest way to visualize alt performance against Bitcoin for you, then look at that. But we're always, even when Bitcoin dominance is trending up, it doesn't mean that there's not alts that do well. So you guys just got to figure out how to fucking find strength. It's not like I haven't like explained those lessons so many times too. Think money rotates from memes to something with more room, speculation like AR and RWA. Here's what I've been saying is that, I mean, I kind of already touched on this a little bit, right? Previously in different regimes or market trends that we've had, a lot of it's been built up by, it's been built off the back of true, value, right? Like DeFi in 2020, it was a legitimate thing, right? So I think that the market needs to pivot away from the financial nihilism and in the direction of real value again. So something like AI or RWA does make sense, but will those probably be the winners? It's very much a coin flip, right? Just wait for the winners to emerge and play them, right? Being predictive about these things beforehand is very much a futile effort. Thoughts on Ondo? Ondo probably no good. Yeah, Ondo looks okay on its macro trend. This is the one thing, it looks okay-ish on the macro trend, but I mean, it's very much getting pressured a lot right now. This is basically the same kind of vibe as Solana, although Solana's market structures are probably actually almost bearish now. Almost. Some alpha for meditation wake up app, probably one of the best out there. I've used different apps and I didn't really like them. I like doing things on my own, but to each their own. If you guys think the app will help you, then give it a shot. It doesn't hurt to test something out like that and see if it works for you. Have a rage room? Yeah, my office. There's 2 holes in the drywall in the office. 100%. They are covered by there's a piece of paper covering them right now with notes on it, but there's 100% 2 holes in this office from when I lost more than I wanted to. They're old though. I don't think that any of those are from any time recently. I think that the most recent hole is probably from years ago. Breathing exercise is ultimate big upgrade in my life when I started learning how to properly break at certain techniques. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. The breathing stuff is something that's easy to clown because it sounds like a classic fucking LARP thing, but it's real. So just go ahead and test it, guys. If it doesn't work for you, then say fuck it. Magus is dumb and I don't care about what he said. But for some of you guys, it will probably actually have a big, it'll actually help you. I do believe that. Lucifer, we all know you don't have a wife. Nice try. Thanks for answering the question. I've noticed that when I stop breathing, my body tends to get stressed and my head lights up. So there's different, you stop breathing, you're not breathing enough. Yeah, I can see that. In those moments where I take the breath in and hold it, and then I'm not really breathing in or out, when I let that out, I'm not really breathing in or taking new oxygen in or anything, but that moment where I'm letting that exhale out really slowly is where I go into fucking flow state in my brain where everything turns off and just anything in front of me, I just clicked buttons correctly and stuff. I don't know. It's hard to explain. All right, guys, I don't want to look at a whole bunch of other altcoins, to be honest. Knight, you were an IP? Oh, good, brother. There's going to be another opportunity. December 2020, I didn't have any money either. That's good. Oil is the oil of the real world. That's crazy. So insightful. Later, Lucifer. Need to play with my puppy? That's crazy. Lucifer now is gonna just LARP like he's me. Oil floats on water? This man's a fucking genius. Get this man a TED Talk immediately. I'm just skimming through the chat and seeing what's what. You guys have been yapping really hard. I appreciate all you guys coming out and hanging out and, you know, shooting the shit. Hopefully you guys learned something today. Or got a laugh out of it at least. It's your favorite RWA token? Gotta be OM right now, brother. 100%. I don't own any of it anymore. But OM was a fantastic mover. Yeah, I know, like, I'm a boomer with this. You can just fucking do this, I think. It doesn't really work a lot of the time, though, right? Like, I want, like, this thing to get moved up here without having to scroll. It legit just doesn't work for me on this PC. I think it's the browser. So I know that you think I'm a boomer, but it's just because this shit is, like, look, it's, like, so finicky about whether it wants to scroll up or not. Like, that's fucking dumb. Just fucking scroll up on demand for me. Also, I am old. Best exchange to look at in terms of CVDOI. I pretty much just center my focus around Bitcoin, for Bitcoin around Binance and Coinbase. So Binance for spot and perps, Coinbase for spot only, obviously. Eventually Coinbase will have the ribs, but I don't give a fuck about that. Yet. Hey, Livid, I could have lied about that, you know. That's what your normal person would do in that scenario. They would say, oh, I've never gotten mad about losing a lot of money, but I'm going to come on here and say what it is. Have I ever gotten mad and punched a wall because I lost a lot of money? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I have. I'm a human being. You know, like, the process of learning to deal with that stuff, like, there's nobody that could help me learn how to deal with any of these things. I had to do it all on my own, so... Did I do it perfectly? Hell no. Did I punch a hole in the wall a couple of times? Yes, I did. But I control myself a lot better these days. It's just part of the learning process. Thank you, Ludo. I appreciate that. I always consider myself to be a particularly unfunny person, so I appreciate that. Arc rounding out. It is starting to round out. This is starting to look bottomy potential. You just want to be careful that you're not the guy that buys into this, right? You want to be the guy that buys into this or buys into the sweep of this or something. Just to reduce stress on the trade. If we went down to 70 or 73K, would you consider that a decent place to add spot? No. If we went down to 70K, the structure on this trend would be in big trouble, and that would mean we would go a lot lower. So we don't really want to see the 80s get lost. Just smoke cigarettes. Honestly, biggest alpha from the entire stream right there. Just fucking smoke cigarettes and don't be a pussy. Sounds much happier since you got the puppy. Yeah, bro. I mean, you know, my dog that I had, she was 12 years old, and I had her for about 11 and a half years. And, you know, over a decade of, you know, her being my best friend and us doing everything together, it was really difficult for me when she died, to be honest. I'm still actually really upset about it. It just is what it is. So yeah, I've got a new little demon puppy. I was very torn about whether I should adopt another dog right away or not, and I decided that, you know, I was doing a good thing. It wasn't just a selfish thing for myself. I was doing a good thing by giving this, you know, this puppy needed to be adopted. So I did, and I'm pretty happy about it. Yeah, so dogs are good. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Brandon, no, but that actually seems interesting, so maybe I will read about that. Maybe the real bull market was the friends we made along the way. When we joke, but there's a little bit of truth to that. You know, when all is said and done, I do actually have a few friends that, like, I really value that I've met in the space. So, you know, it's a bit of a meme, but also a tiny bit of truth to it. Use exo charts? Not really anymore, man. The puppy is, he is 75% standard poodle and 25% black lab. Coke is better than cigs? We're talking about calming down, brother. Talking about being calm. Some scientific studies regarding nicotine, maybe not smoking cigs and juuling, but nicotine seems to be good. It probably is, but you just gotta be really careful, right? Because something like nicotine, right, like you could get, you know, once you're hooked on that, it's very, very difficult to get off of it. So you just gotta be careful is all. But I can't shit on something like nicotine, right, when I've done far worse substances in my life, you know? Not that I would advocate for any of that stuff. Animal grief hits hard as a human. Adds grief nonetheless, right? It really is no different than losing a family member or whatever. All right, the last joke I'm gonna make, because I see a suggestion about Zins, is one of my friends who's a big personality on CT always jokes about putting the Zin in his foreskin, so it's called the Forzin. I can't name any names, but he's a large personality that streams and stuff, so you guys can connect the dots yourself. And I always, every time he says it, I fucking laugh like, is the Forzin in? No, it's locked in. There's only one other. Yeah, you guys already know who it is, but I didn't name any names. No, that's just one of the jokes that he has. That's always funny to me when we play games. We're LARPing as doctors. We're LARPing as LARPs, honestly. Drink water, boys, 100%. I launched my controller after losing a game in FIFA, almost killed my cat. Dude. I don't need to make fun of you for that, because if that's real, you already know that that's not good, right? So, you already know. Hi, Key. My little pupper is so fragile that I'm always worried about whether or not I'm going to, like, step on him or anything like that. He weighs 15 pounds. If I was to step on him, he's done. So that's like actually a fear for me right now. He's always like running around at my feet when we're moving around, so I'm always worried about stepping on him. I hope this is the bottom, guys. I do. I don't have any positioning. If it wasn't streaming, I probably would have gambled on this. I will observe it closely either way. How low do you think we go if we really topped for good? If we really topped for good, which I would say is a less than 10% chance in my mind, if we really topped for good, we're going to go down a lot. We're going to go to, you know, anywhere from as high as 50K to as low as 30K maybe. Who knows, though? I think we'll go pretty low if it's over. But I do not think it is over. I think that everybody that's being a crybaby pee-pants these days is going to look like a real fucking pussy in 9 months or whenever it is when Bitcoin's at 170K. I mean, people are going to look like fucking pussies. And I'm going to make fun of them a little bit. Just a little bit, not that much. Just a little bit. Get the puppy body armor. Because I'd have to buy him new armor every 2 weeks. He's in rapid growth stage. He's about to... I think he's already gained a couple of pounds since I got him. He's in rapid growth. He's going to literally, like, double every month in size. Magus is a powerful bottom, confirmed. Will Paragon make me as profitable as you? Hell no. Am I ever gonna lie about something like that? No. My honest shill for the Paragon is always been that, A, I teach everything that I can teach there, right? There's no gatekeeping or anything. And the one chill is that you're going to learn so fucking fast with us what real practical trading and shit looks like, right? Like actually seeing what real traders look like, which is the fucking opposite of what you see on CT. You see people being honest about their shit, you know? People talking about how they were wrong. Literally nothing that you see on Twitter. Like the stream bozos. Lord of Pine Cones. A, great name. B, fuck yeah with the like the stream bozos. Honestly, I don't know what it is about the word bozo, but it's like one of the funniest fucking words to me. Like calling somebody a bozo is so great because it's not derogatory in any way. It's not even explicit in any way. It's so soft, but it's like such a good insult. Like if somebody calls me a bozo, I'm gonna be like, fuck, like that guy just cooked my ass. I actually really like bozo. Vindication for being bullish at 50K when we hit 100K hit different. I totally agree. I mean, we had pretty similar thesis, pretty similar trades, and probably got the same kind of chirpers where people would come in and I just didn't change my plan the entire time. I said what was going to happen and people came in and said I was an idiot the whole time, and there you go. Just keep doing our thing. What do I think about Sol here? You know, we can look at it really quickly. Sol is in big trouble across the board. So like literally no part of my system says that this is strong right now. It's bearish on quarterlies, it's bearish on monthlies, it's bearish on weeklies. So, you know, I would not bid this. I would wait for it to tell me, like, give me a structural shift as a reason to want to bid it. So I would just honestly hard ignore Solana right now. As somebody who likes Solana, was early to it and really benefited from Solana right now, I can't like have that like emotional attachment to this stuff right now. I'll keep it on my list. I already own some, so you know I did sell some, but I already own some. But yeah, my brain is definitely starting to fall apart right now. Honest chill about Paragon is the community. Yeah, I mean that came together in a wild way. Never expected the community aspect to come together in such a way. It's just, I think the only thing I can say is I've been lucky with that, right? Attracted great people that want to work hard and have fun. So it's been fantastic experience. The way that the Paragon developed over time was not anything, you know, I didn't have any grandmaster plans or anything. It just came together in the way that it did, and it's been fucking awesome to watch. So thanks, guys. Yeah, the Paragon streams are pretty fucking crazy compared to the public streams. I say more wild stuff because it's private, so I can, and the questions and community aspects get pretty wild as well. At what price would you change your stance to thinking it's likely over? I don't have an exact price point in mind on Bitcoin, guys. What I would say would be that, you know, where we're at should give us reversion, right? So if we, here's what it being over looks like. This should be a reversion territory where it bounces us up. And the strength of the bounce will be everything. If it's a weak bounce, then it means we're going to go lower. If it's a strong bounce, it will, you know, mean that we'll reaccept the range and go higher. I don't have, it's not like, oh, if we lose 70K, it's bearish, right? That's not how I trade. I don't believe in magic lines in that way. The best answer I can give you, which is the honest one, is I'm going to watch everything and play it by ear, right? I'm in defense mode right now, so if we trade down, I'll be all right. It's not going to hurt me. So I just need to observe more before I can give a legitimate answer like that. That's the truth, right? A lot of people that would be a streamer or whatever would say, oh, I'm just going to make up a level and give this guy an answer. I'm not going to give you a bad answer. The honest answer is that I have to observe more. I have to see a lot more information before I can make a you know, a guess like that. Calling someone a bozo is not offensive. Dumbass or idiot is. Yeah, but it's like, you're still insulting them, but it's such a soft insult that nobody can really get that mad. Also, the word bozo just sounds funny to me. Thank you, Sam. I'm sorry, Lisa. You know what? I'll do it really quickly. The pup is asleep. I was going to skip this one, but you know what? I don't dislike this coin. I actually should have it on my list. This would have been this was the easiest money the entire cycle that I could have made, and I said, nope, I don't care. I could have downloaded this fucking thing or whatever, given it my account permissions and got fucking 100K in airdrop or whatever, and I said, fuck it, I don't care. I think the chart looks decent. This looks like a very decent coin. So it should be one that you should pay attention to, right? In the same, spectrum of conversation with IP and OM, right? And even Sonic maybe. Although I don't like Sonic nearly as much as I like something like Kato. This looks pretty good. All right, let me read a little bit more chat and then we're going to end the stream here. Any guests next week? I will probably have Delta XBT on next week. I was supposed to have him on last week and I canceled on him because of the puppy situation. But yeah, hope next week I should have Delta on. I appreciate that, Jaggers. Honestly, that's like some of my favorite responses, right? Everybody, we always get good feedback about what they learn in the Paragon, but if you're going to come back just to hang out with us, that's like the ultimate W for me, honestly. I really like the idea of like people actually like working together, but also having a good time. I've said this so many times. If you've never heard this before, I'm going to say it for you right now. If you're always business and always serious, you're going to burn yourself out. You got to learn to have fun and joke around with the boys while you work, right? That's what will keep you in the game for a long time. If you're all work and no play, you're not going to make it. I truly believe that. Would you de-risk Soul on a significant bounce? I've already de-risked what I was going to, so no. It's a hindsight hairy thing. It's like, the de-risking stages have already come and gone largely. If you are concerned about your stack and it bounces, I mean, that's up to you. Maybe it makes sense to de-risk it. What's your time frame on the bounce, fail versus acceptance? I don't really believe in time frames for this kind of stuff, so I would just watch it on super low time frame, like a 1 minute. And just watch it, watch for the strength, right? Perp premium, not that great. I don't see nothing valuable on this screen for me. I like the way that the liquidity is holding the line, though. I mean, that was what I wanted to see. So, basically, any more drives down are probably going to be, if it does this. So, it's not going to do, it's not likely that it's just going to do this, right? That's what your brain is telling you right now. I'm worried that it's going to do this. If it's going to bottom out here, it's probably not done with the process, where it's probably going to do another drive, right? A bottom will look more like this than just going up from here, right? So if you want to play this, you should have opportunity. You want to pay attention to what the bounces look like. So you want to see potentially, it could make lower lows, that's fine, but you want to see the bounces starting to make progress, and then you want to see the lows starting to be higher, right? You want to actually make the structure start to point upwards. Nice try, Livid. Nagus trades 7 coins but has 300 on his watch list. Holy fuck, that's pain. Is he still here? Why isn't he speaking up? Am I not speaking? Has a decent roast, Livid. Not good enough, though. Thoughts on Maker? Sorry, guys. I'm done looking at coins right now. I want to end the stream. Not like I'm trying to be, trying to say fuck you or anything. I gotta move on in my day. Humor protects you from the stresses and pressures of life. Life is a dark and dangerous place if you're not careful. Took out a loan. Like, the duality of fucking livid comments are insane. Cheers, Brandon. Good luck out there, brother. Is it a coincidence that you stream when WoW is down for maintenance? 100%. No, I've not been going that hard on WoW, guys. I know that WoW is a great game and stuff, but I've been playing hardcore a little bit, but most of my gaming is on Counter-Strike right now. I have a 22 Warlock and a 20 Warrior, so I'm not going that hard. No problem, codes. 7 coins but 300 on the watch list. What a bozo. No problem, Ben. Absolute bozo. I'm just never going to recover from this stream. Lucifer, I thought you were saying you were leaving. You were supposed to leave because you had important things to do in your day, and here you are. Crazy. Alright, guys. So, I got to the bottom of chat. And that's where I'm going to call it. So, I got a lot of stuff that needs to get done today. So, I'm going to piece it out. But hopefully you guys learned something today, or had a laugh at the very least. I'm going to show Paragon really quickly because this is the time to do it. If you want to expedite your learning curve, consider coming and learning with us. I can't promise that you're going to be profitable or anything. I'm never going to fucking lie to you guys. But I can promise that you will learn faster than probably anywhere else. That's the one claim that I can make confidently. So cheers, everybody. We've got some... I've got some stuff in the pipeline. Some of it's private, some of it's public. Got some stuff cooking up, so definitely keep an eye out. And keep trying to vibe it out on Twitter, guys. When you see a small account trying to put forth some ideas, go and, you know, you don't have to agree with them, but go and engage and, like, you know, help them in some way, right? Let's make CT great again. Cheers, everybody. Good luck out there.